My name is Jamin Goecker. I'm a realtor in South Central Alaska, and my mission is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching you in real estate. And I primarily focus on South Central Alaska, and some of you are interested in what's going on in Kodiak. So, to answer that question, I went ahead and brought in a colleague of mine, Katrina Benton, who does work over in Kodiak. She's lived there for quite a while at this point. Her family has a lot of roots in that little island. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand you off to her and let her give you the market update for what's going on in Kodiak.
Hi, I'm Katrina Benton with Keller Realty here in Kodiak, Alaska. I serve this market down here in Kodiak, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the market statistics for October and where we're at as far as single-family residential as well as land statistics. Right now we have about 21 homes actively for sale in Kodiak, and that's pretty on par with what we usually have this time of year. We are seeing a big decrease compared to last year. We had kind of a spike last year as far as inventory goes. Last year we had a really active market. This year it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but we're more on par with like historical, what we would usually have in October. So as far as homes that have sold, we have had a really slow winter. It feels to me like it's really slow from fall going into winter. We only had 6 sales throughout the whole island last month. And historically, we're higher than that. We're usually running about 10 to 12. And so that feels really slow to us here. But I think it makes it really more competitive. If you're a buyer, you're going to have to be more competitive in order to get a home right now. Year to date, we're at average sales price of $334,500. And so that has actually dropped about 6% from this time last year. But I wouldn't say to panic. This is a very small subset. It's not a complete set of data as far as like what our whole market represents. This is only the homes that have sold. And so we're selling homes in this lower price range because those are the homes that are affordable for most people who live and work here in Kodiak. The higher priced homes are going to take a while longer to sell. And so that's, I think, one of the reasons that our average sales price has gone down is that last year we had a lot of big properties that sold. It just kind of a fluke in the market. Last October, we actually had a really high spike in those bigger properties that sold. And this year we're just selling affordable homes. So for land, we actually have 25 active listings, and that's a lot of inventory for us. Now, these listings aren't all lots in town in Kodiak that you could actually build a house on and live a normal life, most of them. It's actually really rare that we get residential lots. I think we have 2 or 3 that are in town or close to town. There's a big development out at the end of the road called Cliff Point. And so those are luxury homes that are being built out there. And it's quite a big subdivision. And so there's quite a bit of land available out there. And then we have also listings that are in the villages or out on islands of their own in remote areas that could be used for living an off-the-grid lifestyle or living like a setnet site. There's a lot of different people in Kodiak doing different things all around the island. Our population isn't just here in town. And I think that if someone's looking to live off-grid, Kodiak is a great place to do that. So our average sold price for land this year is about $119,000. I know that we have lots here in town for $75,000. And then there's some really bigger parcels that are for sale in our MLS that we can help with that are in the millions of dollars. It really depends what you're looking for. If you're moving here and thinking, oh, I'll buy some land and build a house, that might be a challenge to find a residential lot in town. But we definitely have a few available. It's just not as big of a market as when you look at it, you say, oh, wow, 25 listings, because really it's kind of a little bit misleading because we have that big development out the road it's kind of skewing our numbers.
Let's take a break here real quick. For those of you who have been watching for a little bit, you do know that I host a podcast called the Alaskan Journey podcast, and the purpose of that podcast is really tell the stories of people who have recently moved up here to Alaska or those who've lived up here for a long time. So if you're thinking about making a move up here, that might be a great place to start so you can kind of start seeing what other people have done to accomplish what it is that you're wanting to do. So link for that is going to be in the description section down below. We've got tons of episodes on there, so jump in there, go treat yourself. And without further ado, I'll let you go ahead and get back into today's market update.
I would love to tell you about our condo market, but it doesn't really exist. See, here in Kodiak, we only have 2 condo buildings. So if someone is moving here and they're used to living in a condominium, the choices are really limited. And the condo buildings that we have here aren't brand new and fancy. They were built, in the 70s and 80s. They're older buildings and it looks like a multifamily neighborhood. There's a little bit of multifamily activity, like we sell 1 or 2 duplex a year, but it's not really anything that I have enough statistics to pull because it's just not a big thing here. I think if you can find a duplex or a multifamily, if you're an investor here, you just got to be on it and looking at the market every day and getting those email updates that we can provide so that when something new comes on the market, you get it right away. Typically, our duplexes, if we get 1 or fourplex, would sell very quickly. But yeah, that's a kind of a unique thing about Kodiak, and I think a different thing compared to a lot of places where people are coming from. So what does this mean? I think if you're a buyer, what it means is that you need to have patience in looking for your new home. If you're moving here from a big city or somewhere that's really populated, what I like to call civilization, you might be surprised to see the inventory that we have available. When you land and you just call me and tell me what kind of house you want, I'm not going to be able to go show you 10 different houses and let you pick your favorite. We're going to look at maybe 2 or 3, and maybe you'll like one of them. So I think that being patient is really key to buying a home in Kodiak. Homes do come up for sale, and as long as we're prepared when they come up for sale, we can easily be competitive in our offers. And I think that's another thing about Kodiak that's different than the rest of the world. Here we really have to be competitive, and I know that the last couple of years that we've seen a really competitive market in the States, but that's just kind of our normal here. So if you think about it that way, about how you were having to write offers in the last few years, we're still in that space. If you're a seller, this is great news. We have really low inventory. We have buyers who are looking. If your home is priced correctly and in great condition, it'll sell quickly and hopefully with little hassle. There are definitely, every time I list a property, we have lots of showings. So there are lots of buyers actively looking. I think one of the misconceptions people have is that we have our busy season when the Coast Guard transfer season happens in the spring. And actually, the market is a little bit seasonal, but it's not as affected by that as you might think. A lot of these families come to Kodiak and they have the intention to purchase a home, and they can't find one. So they rent until they can find one. So every time we list a house, we have several people who would very much like to own their own home coming to look at it. So it's a great time to sell your house in Kodiak. If you're relocating to Kodiak and coming from a different market, or maybe there's more listings, maybe you sold your house and you had a really great experience and you had lots of offers and lots of people through your house, and you just saw how busy that is in that space. In a lot of different markets. Here, it's not as much, we're only going to be able to look at a couple houses. So if you're relocating here, I would encourage you to also look for a short-term rental. And I can help to find those for people that would like to go that route. I would say even a year-long rental might be okay to give you enough time to find that house that you want to purchase and have your own home. And just having that patience is definitely key to finding a home here in Kodiak. Because when the good ones come up, you got to be ready, you got to be excited about it and able to make your offer that day. The sellers aren't going to wait around for you to go do paperwork with the bank. So make sure you're pre-qualified before you get here. Consider renting for a year. Consider, maybe in a different market you were able to go and say, I want this master bedroom with the walk-in closet and the double sinks, and I want the granite countertops and all these things. Here, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be, this house might work, and we'll go look at it. And maybe you'll like it, and maybe you won't. And then we're just going to go from there. But if you're looking for your dream house in Kodiak, you're probably not going to find it immediately. With some patience, we can definitely find it. So there you have it. That's our October market report for Kodiak, Alaska. Thanks for watching and joining me today. And if you'd like more information about Kodiak and you'd like to have more information about moving here, feel free to reach out and you can contact me through the link below.